you have a story, you want a reading, you want me to help you with your life, you have a health problem that you can't put your finger on, and you're like, why is my shoulder constantly in problem? And you want me to read it and you want me to get into it. I'm not that medical expert, but I can tell you where the emotion is attached to it. I think you'll be surprised at how powerful that is. So I would love to hear from you. Go to lisawilliams.com/podcast-guest and we will get you on the show. Hi everyone. Before we begin, I want to let you know that this podcast is for informational and inspirational purposes only. The advice and insights shared here are based on my personal experiences and expertise, but they are not a substitute for professional, medical, psychological, or business advice. If you are dealing with a specific issue, please consult a qualified expert. And thanks for watching. Hey everybody, and welcome to today's show of Hope, Healing and Transformation. And today we have a reading. All I know is that she has some health issues and there may be some trauma. So we're going to help her get to the bottom of this and see where it takes us. So we're going to welcome Mary Beth onto the show. Hello. How are you?
I'm excited.
Yeah, good. You look amazing. You look fabulous, and
Thank you.
I love it. In your own words, tell me, what you're thinking today. All I know is that you have some trauma, you have some health issues. Were you looking at getting to the bottom of it? Were you looking at communicating with spirit? What was going on for you?
I think I'm just in a bit of a stuck place. I had sort of a major up-leveling, if you will, about a month ago. And of course it felt amazing and I felt all this openness and, but it also kind of ran me into another stuck spot, so to speak. I do have a health issue I'm a little concerned about. And I do think it could be related to trauma.
Okay. All right. So I always have to ask the question is, do you want to know everything?
Yes.
Great. Obviously, if I start giving you information you don't want to know about, please let me know. But until then, I'm going to completely surrender to spirit and give you what I get.
What I was hoping to accomplish with Lisa in the reading was to get unstuck, so to speak. I knew my physical body needed healing, but I had a feeling it was attached to trauma, but I couldn't make the connection. So I was hoping she could kind of guide me through that.
First of all, I'm not sure if mom is on the other side, but I have a woman that's coming forward. She feels like a mom on the other side. She feels like this very maternal spirit. Do you understand that?
I do.
And as she steps in, and I feel like a huge amount of love towards her, actually, and I feel a huge amount of love towards you. So this feels to me as though it's very maternal. And I do, but I also feel, and this would be your mom in spirit, please. You understand your mom to be there, or is it more of a mother figure, like a grandmother?
It's a mother figure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Do you understand that you may have been let down by your family?
Yes.
Because she makes me aware that she feels that you have been let down by your whole family, and that she wants to take away the pain, she wants to take away the suffering, and that there's been a huge amount of judgment on you from the family, if that makes any sense to you. And she's elevating you, she's wagging her finger and saying, no one should have gone through what you went through. Mm-hmm. All right. And there's this feeling of, I want to say, neglect and disrespect for some reason. And she's showing me that now you've had to learn to stand on your own 2 feet. You've learned to stand on your own 2 feet. And by standing on your own 2 feet, you feel, thank you, empowered, and you want to empower other people to do so themselves.
Yeah.
What I'm actually feeling here is I feel like, have you just recently left a relationship in the last maybe 2 or 3 years,
Yes.
which has been a long-term relationship? I don't know whether it was a marriage or a very maybe committed relationship. You understand that?
Yes, I recently relocated my husband's from my husband. Yeah,
Okay.
we're still together, but not physically together.
Okay. There has been some form of adjustment, is what I'm being shown, and it's regarding a relationship. And what it feels here is the lack of communication or the lack of being able to voice your opinion is massive. And I feel that this is all part of it. Now, I'm also being pulled into the stomach, which is to do with the emotion. I am going to say to you, whatever change you have made in this relationship, I've got chills all over me, I feel is very, very good for you. I'm not here to tell you what to do and how to change your mind and how to work in your life. I'm really not. But what I'm going to say to you is moving forward from here, it's about being authentic. It's about showing up as you.
Yeah.
And I feel like, what's your husband's name?
Tim.
Tim. Now, I liked him. Okay. I'm not
Me
saying I don't
too.
like him. I liked him. All right. I think he's a great guy. But there's something about this relationship where I feel as though you're now trying to figure out where you both belong in the relationship. Is dad on the other side?
Yes,
I've just had dad pop in. Do you understand he never got a chance to say goodbye?
he didn't take it.
All right. I just keep being shown that he never got a chance to say, he never said goodbye. Okay. And he's also showing me that he wasn't the easiest person to get along with. And he needs to apologize here. He's just said, I'm sorry. He feels like he upset a lot of people. He
Yeah.
feels like he really did upset a huge amount of people. He's also being shown that he caused a lot of worry, also unnecessary worry in the family. So maybe there was a huge amount of worry around. He's saying, "You please let mom know that I'm sorry." Okay, and it's sorry on every account. And he was somewhat of a difficult person. All right, but he also was sign of the times that he was a difficult man because he was raised by difficult people. There was difficulties everywhere.
Yeah.
And he also couldn't show his emotions, is what he's just shared with me. He said I was emotionally stunted. And even your mom could get in there, some of you could get in there, but he couldn't really open himself up due to fear.
Yeah.
And he's apologizing for that. Who had the accident?
I was in an accident when I was 18, and Tim was in a motorcycle accident when I got pregnant with Stella, my daughter.
Let me share with you right now. Is I'm being shown the accident. I feel as though it's your accident when you were 18. For some reason, I'm being shown what has been the major impact on you in your life. There's something about this accident. Was this this accident when you were 18? Could it have been quite bad? But it really wasn't. Could it have been a little bit worse than it actually was?
Oh, yeah, I could have had a hugely different outcome. I hit the windshield. I didn't have a seatbelt on. Yeah, Lisa asked me about a car accident when I was 18, and I was indeed in a car accident. I was leaving a high school party in the early morning hours, and a friend who I think was still intoxicated from the night before drove us home. And I was in a particularly sad mood because I was in a very lonely place in my life, and I was holding a bunch of clothes on my lap, and I was like, I'm not going to mess with the seatbelt. And as he turned into my driveway, an oncoming car I saw wasn't stopping, and it was a high-paced road. And I told him, I said, stop, stop, stop. And he didn't. And we just clipped that car. And I hit the windshield, and I remember that time completely slowed down, and I saw every little crack happening right in front of my eyes, very slowly. It was, and then I think I was knocked out, and I woke up and the other car was on its hood spinning. So, I mean, it's amazing that it wasn't worse than it was.
Because I keep being shown that you were in some form of accident, and did you have some form of head trauma? Because I keep being shown a head trauma.
Yeah, I hit the windshield.
Right. And what I'm also being shown is that there has been some form of impact from that also on you, from there, even though it happened when you were 18, which, might have only been last year, but it was like, but it felt like you had some form of head trauma. I'm going back to your thyroid. Do you mind if I tap into your thyroid and see what's going on?
Yes, that's fine.
As I'm tapping into you, that you were a little bit scared or a little bit like didn't always speak your truth. Okay, so there's a little bit of fear that's going on, because all I keep being shown here is there's a little bit of as I'm connecting into you as a little girl, I feel as though there's a little bit of fear. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry to say that. I'm sorry to bring this up. And also what I'm being shown around the age of 5 or 6, I'm not sure if something happened around the age of 5 or 6, but I keep feeling like there's a little bit of trauma or something that needs to be unlocked here. So do you know what that circumstance was? Okay.
I do.
Okay. Was there any abuse here? I'm so sorry.
Yes.
God, I'm so sorry. I just feel it here. It's so locked in here. All right, do me a favor. I just need you to take a deep breath. Are you okay if I release this?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. So just take a deep breath. Okay. Wow.
Excuse me.
Good. No, this is good. This is what we like.
Yeah, when Lisa was doing the healing process and moving her hands around, I kept feeling this clearing, this need to clear my throat. And like once I went off camera, I felt like I was going to cough for a little bit. And then down in my chest, I felt just like a little tickle. Not like a tickle to make me cough, just like a little awareness that there's like a tickle in there. And yeah, even as I speak of it, I've got a little bit of that again.
It's locked way in there. Let me see where it takes. Let me see where it's actually. Oh, have you had some? Do you ever have respiratory problems, upper respiratory issues?
A lot. Yeah.
It's wrapped right into your lungs. Then I was like, I got to follow this in because I can't just pull this out. It's not. So it feels like it's gone into, it's wrapped around, this cord has wrapped around into the thyroid and gone into the upper respiratory area. And let me see where else. Oh, do you have back problems in the spine, sort of around, maybe around where the bra strap is?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Right. That's where I've got it hooked. Don't mean to say this. I'm only sharing this with you. It's like I've got it hooked around your throat, going into the actual lungs, and then it's the tail of it is actually into your spine. So I'm going to remove this because energetically it's like this anchoring. But your dad is in here, your brother's in here as well. So I'm sorry to bring this up. Was there ever an issue around a swimming pool or being in a swimming pool or in a water?
Yeah. Yeah. The first, I don't know how much you want me to say, but
you can share whatever you want.
Yeah. The first time I was molested. I was 5, and it was in a swimming pool by a swim instructor.
Right.
Yeah.
It's deep trauma that's stuck in here at the
Yeah.
edge of, in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
I was like, why am I being shown the swimming pool here? I'm so sorry.
So Lisa mentioned something that not many people know, and that's that the first time I was molested was in a swimming pool, and it was a swim coach at a day camp, a church day camp, of course. and that was a really big moment in my life. I didn't tell anybody. I carried that with me. And then through another instance, separate from that, I was molested again and repeatedly, and carried that through my life. And I know that it was the reason that I continued to choose poor partners or put myself into very risky situations, which ultimately have ended up in additional trauma, date rape and such.
Let's remove this. Okay, we're going to remove this for you. It's a cord that's in there, and it's deeply in there.
It's so strange. It's like I can feel something in there.
Yeah. You're very sensitive to it, so it's I can't just pull a cord out. I have to work on it very delicately, especially when it's so deep rooted. And what's happened is you've actually created your whole life on this trauma, because you've been told that it's right, or you've been told that it's this or it's that, and your brain just searches for it. So the more it starts to agree with something and believe in something, and we go down these cycles, the more things just start rooting into our body.
When Lisa was in the healing process, I honestly wasn't even really watching her motions. I did look up at one point and I saw her doing things with her arms, but it's almost like that was secondary. I wasn't truly aware of it. But what I could do is I kept feeling this need to clear my throat, and a little tickle down in my esophagus, almost, if you will, like down in deeper in my chest. And I just thought that was so strange. It's almost like I could feel her little hand in there. It was interesting.
There we go. All right, it's starting to move. It's starting to move.
Excuse me.
No, this is great. As it's starting to move, you're making it's good. This is what we need. We need that. Okay. All right. Okay.
I feel like when I go off camera, I'm going to do a little coughing.
That's okay. You can do coughing right now. We can always mute you. It's all good. It's like a rod in here. I'm telling you, it's like a thick rod that is it's almost metal. It almost feels bent. Oh, do you ever have issues around your shoulder as well? Because it's actually into the shoulder.
Yeah, I do.
You probably blamed it on sleeping in a certain way.
I do. I always do, yes.
Yeah, you've probably done that. Listen, we all do that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's now coming up. Gosh, do you have a daughter as well? You do have a daughter.
Yeah, I do.
Because I feel like this is the fact that you vowed nothing to ever happen to your daughter.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to achieve in this healing with Lisa was I don't want to pass through my DNA and my trauma onto my daughter. I don't want her to carry the sorrows that I carried and the heaviness that I carried. And so I've been working on myself from every angle, and that's one reason I wanted Lisa to go in just deeper, a place that maybe I didn't know how to access, and help me to heal so that I can model and be something valuable to her. Yeah.
and I'm seeing the same with you here. Oh, interesting. This alcoholism, and no judgment at all, but this alcoholism, I feel as though has shaped your life, or has shaped, whether it was your dad's, whether it was your grandfather's, whether it was yours. I feel as though it shaped your life into where you are now. And has there been this feeling of like wanting to give it up, or I don't know whether you are sober, but this feeling of like, just stop. I'm ready to stop.
Yes.
Does
Yeah,
that make sense?
it does. It does. I've been just wanting more clarity in my life.
Yeah, I feel as though listen, I can't tell you what to do, but I do know that stopping alcohol has absolutely changed my life. Um, but I feel that this is going to give you a real sense of having that clarity, finding it, because I feel like what you've done is you've clouded a huge amount. Now, I do feel that it is so tightly wrapped around your neck and your throat that your vocal cords sometimes, do you ever get a lot of sore throats as well?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so your vocal cords are struggling. It's all throat chakra. And now what we're doing is we're opening this up. And so, oh, here we go. This is just much easier. All of a sudden, it's got a little bit more pliable and flexible. The age of 7 keeps coming up for me as well. So there's something significant about the age of 7. And I'm almost feeling like, oh, wow, this is interesting. Was there ever a loss of child?
Yeah, I've been pregnant 5 times and only birthed one child. Yeah.
Okay, because I keep feeling here um, that there was a loss of a child, or loss of miscarriages, terminations, whatever you want to, whatever they
Yeah.
were. But I feel like there was a loss of children. And forgive me, and I apologize that I just went straight there. I went straight into your womb area,
Yeah.
and I went, oh, I've got to put, you've got some energy here that needs to be removed. With your permission, are you okay if I do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I've had 2 miscarriages and 2 ectopic pregnancies. One required
Okay.
surgery, so a little traumatic there.
Yeah. So I'm actually, as soon as I went there, I went, oh, wow. I don't want to actually just move this, because it feels like this was delicate.
Yeah, being pregnant 5 times and only achieving one birth was definitely something that was on my mind when I was speaking to Lisa. I do believe that I was wound so tight inside and just had carrying all the weight of all the trauma that I had encountered up to this, point in my life. I think definitely affected my ability to either get pregnant or carry to term.
As soon as I went there, I went, oh, oh. Yeah, it was energy there.
Yeah, they're definitely have. I think there's so much because from the young age, I made my choices based out of that trauma, and I've
Right.
just kept repeating cycles of bad people.
Right. No, I
Yeah,
get it.
yeah,
Listen, we all have done that. Um, and there's no shame, blame, guilt, or anything, but we've all done those. Our trauma shapes us.
yeah,
Um, and I can look back in my own life and recognize that, and realize that as soon as we recognize that what is shaping us, then we have the ability to make a decision to change it. And so
yeah,
now you have the ability to change that. And I think that's the beauty in it.
yeah. And
So
I
yeah.
I question. Obviously, I'm very protective of my daughter because of what happened to me,
Hmm.
but also she's very shut down,
Right.
and that's a big part of this healing. Is I want to heal her through me, by healing myself.
Good.
And, I know we can't live somebody else's path, but she's a big reason I want to heal myself. Because
Good.
I don't want her repeating my cycle.
I love that.
Yeah.
And, she's going to do her own cycle, but you have to be responsible for you. And we learn by example. So I think this is amazing. How old is she?
She's 12.
Oh, I love that. Okay. All right. I'm just going to need you to take a couple of deep breaths, because what I'm going to do is pull this cord out and pull this energy out, and we'll see where it takes us. Okay. So just take a deep breath. Okay. So what I just did is I just want you to put in white or gold light or into this area, to the pelvic area, and actually down your legs. Feel empowered down your legs. And just allow yourself to feel empowered in your heart as well. I just want to, I'm sending some energy into your heart. There you go. Wow, that was a lot. Okay, so I feel, and I mean it in a nice way, it's like, I feel as though there's definitely something in the throat. It doesn't feel serious. It doesn't feel like it's anything that I'm like, oh my God. But I do feel that just get this checked out. And if you are, then please let us know how it goes. I feel here that you're on this new pathway. I feel like this new pathway is now enlightening you. I feel as though, and what I would love you to do is actually, let me just double check on you. Okay, can you do some tapping here, just on your collarbone here? I want you to repeat after me. I am safe.
I am safe.
I make wise choices.
I make wise choices.
I empower myself.
I empower myself.
I am safe.
I am safe.
I make wise choices.
I make wise choices.
I empower myself.
I empower myself.
I am safe.
I am safe.
I make wise choices.
I make wise choices.
I empower myself.
I empower myself.
Take a deep breath. And just relax. Shake your arms. Shake your whole body. There you go. How do you feel?
I feel light.
You feel light. Good.
Yeah.
So what I did is I removed, there's definitely some trauma around your neck, as I said. Definitely some in the pelvic area again, which is important. I do feel that this is now about you feeling safe. And I feel that from this point on, it's about feeling safe. It's about you allowing your own safety to come through. Whatever your choices are right now is that you have an awareness. There's something about your spirituality, something about you connecting with your guide, your spiritual side, your empathic side, which is going to really help you. And when you step into that side and say, okay, how am I showing up? Am I fully in alignment? Am I ready to embrace the life that I'm supposed to be living? If you get a yes, then you're going to know whether or not you need to go into that. The reason why I was picking up your stomach at the beginning is it was more the pelvic area. It was just in the lower regions. You also worry a huge amount as well. So this worry is sometimes hitting the stomach area. But I do feel as though this is your opportunity to really be very empowered with yourself, okay, and very strong. Let me feel this. How are you feeling right now? Do you feel clearer?
I do. So as she was doing the healing process and immediately after, though it wasn't like a miraculous change, I could definitely feel a lightness in my chest, a lightness in my throat, like I felt taller, I felt more expansive, and like I'm not connected to that deep, heavy weight anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions or anything else that you need to look at? Or anything you want to ask me about what has happened?
Yeah, when it's always sort of bothered me when my father, I was with him when they told him he only had a couple weeks left.
Okay.
And it was really like up to the very last minute, like it's almost like he was in denial. And when he passed over, it was like kind of messy,
Yep.
kind of resistant. And I was told, because he waited for us to leave, of course. And then I was told by his wife that he struggled, like he was fearful and struggled. And that image always bothered me.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'd like to know that he feels safe now.
Okay.
I think he helped instill a fear of death in me as I grew up.
So he has just said, I am okay. He said it wasn't as bad as I thought. It never is.
My father was afraid of everything. He was a very fearful man. And I think that's why he was so judgmental and so controlling. And he really instilled that fear in me. So I think, well, it feels to me like by asking her that question and her answer, it released something in me, because I believe death shouldn't be scary. But seeing him resist like that and knowing that he resisted was frightening to me. It just brought back everything as a kid that he instilled in me to be afraid of.
He was a control freak.
Yes.
Your dad was a control freak. And he didn't like to, he said that's word surrender. And he rolled his eyes. He didn't want to surrender into it.
Right.
And he thought he was indestructible and that he could live forever.
Yeah.
That's honestly how he thought. He said, I could live forever. He said, but I am here. And he said, and I heard your words. So you must have been talking to him before he left. Okay. Because he said he heard your words. He also was in denial. He said, but when you get given that news, he said, you can't help but it being in your head. But he didn't want to believe it. Yeah. He said, because your thoughts create your reality. And, he didn't want to be in that place. He said, but he said, who am I kidding? We all had to die.
Yeah. I really wanted to heal that with Lisa as well, because I don't want my daughter to feel that way. I don't want to pass that on to her, because that wasn't my pain. I was carrying his pain, and I carried it for a really long time. And I don't want that for her. He actually even really hated his face. He would always talk about how he hated his face. Well, I have his face. I look just like him. And so, I carried that as well.
He's apologizing for you having to go through that suffering. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Because he feels that, I don't know whether he was your mum's first husband and then there was, the other father that came in after him, but he just kept showing me that it was the other way around.
Yeah.
But he just kept showing me that he felt like he couldn't protect you. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what he's showing me. He said, I felt like I couldn't protect you. He said, it was messy because I made it messy. It was messy because I made it messy. I didn't want to face it. I did not want to face what was going on. He said, had I have just Had I have just let it be, it would have been so much easier.
Yeah.
You know, he would have just been able to cope with it. He said, but I'm okay. He said, I'm totally okay. Any other questions?
No, I think I'm good. Thank you. The reason I wrote in is I had my earbuds in while I was working, and I listened to her show. And I had just started listening to it right after my big up-leveling. And when she says at the end of the show, if you're go to my website, and it's almost like I stopped what I was doing, and it's like she was almost got louder and in my ear, and she's like, so call in or write in to be on the show. And I was like, okay. Like literally said out loud, okay, I'll do that. And when I wrote in, I just went, I don't know. I feel like Lisa just asked me to be on the show. So.
I am so glad that we were able to get to the bottom of it and actually remove that big cord, because that was really wrapping her tight. And if you notice, there was definitely some physical elements that were happening in her body as we were releasing the energy. And so you never know what's going to happen. Now, of course, once we remove cords, we still can't stop still have to follow up with medical intervention. We still always have to have the medical profession. But I think it's very important that we look at what is happening to our body and why is that. So take that note from me to you, and hopefully you guys will be able to recognize where you're feeling it. What does that mean? So from my world to yours, I want to wish you lots of love, and I will see you next time on Hope, Healing and Transformation. Thank you so much for joining me today. And remember, the information shared on this podcast is meant to inspire and support you, but it's not a replacement for personalized advice from a qualified professional. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who might benefit. And don't forget to tune in next time. Until then, take care and keep believing in something better.